We are here with Jeff Stebbins of 3PillMorning's from Minnesota.
That's right.
Which is good. Nice place. Just as cold as Canada.
It is. It's just as cold as Canada. We love the summers much like you guys do here, I'm sure. Which is what
you mean July?
Yeah, July. And a couple of weeks in July. Right?
Right. Yeah, the middle part, right after the 4th of July. So you're on tour with Buck Cherry. How's it going?
It's been great. I mean, aside from winter touring, there's always some challenges with that, with the weather and things along those lines. But the crowds have been awesome, a lot of energy, and this is our first time touring in Canada. So for us to get in front of some people outside of the States and see what the reaction is, and to have the kind of reaction we've had has been awesome.
Yeah. Now this is the third album, Black Tie, Love Affair, right?
Yeah, we released a couple of independent releases, and that kind of got us catapulted to where we're at right now. And we put out Black Tie Love Affair, and have been touring on that for about the last 18 months.
Already 18 months already. So, when you go in and you've had this, time for the band, for the album to move along, are you writing on the road? Are you ready for the next step?
Yeah, we're definitely ready. We've got some touring to do yet this winter, but the plan for the springtime is to get in the studio and get all these ideas that we have, put into songs and actually hit the studio and get some music ready to put out another album.
Now, you did the first two independently. Why did you choose to do the third one with the help of a label?
The timing just seemed to make sense, and we spent a lot of time looking for the right partner to help us, kind of catapult our musical careers, and we're able to come to an agreement that allowed us to continue to do what we want to do, which is tour and continue to grow our band, and we're able to kind of make things work.
Yeah, because these days. Oh, you need to get through? We can cut.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Sorry,
it's okay. What's interesting about that is that a lot of even bands that were signed in the past are now going that independent route with Kickstarter and Pledge. Why was it important to find a label partner?
We had done a lot of things really well independently,
okay.
But wanted to give it a shot, and see what it's all about. And that's still. The indie deal is much different than a lot of these bands that are coming out of major label deals, right, and having to deal with that. So we still had a lot of flexibility to kind of run the band as we saw fit, but we had a partner that could kind of help us, get the music out to more people and, give us more opportunities to, be on the road with bands like Buck Cherry and other things.
Yeah, so explain that to me, because, when you talk to a band, to some of the, older bands that have been on labels for years and years, they say, oh, we used to have all this tour support, we used to have all this radio support, now it's all gone. How are they supporting you at all?
For us,
yeah.
Again, it's just at a smaller level than those bands have before. So the name of the game is still the same as it's always been as an indie artist. It's get out on the road. It's make as many fans as you can, meet as many people as you can, and continue to network with our fans through social media and all the outlets that are out there. So it doesn't change. It's just maybe they have a few other avenues that we can go down that can help us continue to progress as a band.
So let's talk about the social media now. How important is it for you? I mean, are you working the Twitter and the Instagram and the Vine and all that stuff?
Yeah.
And what does it bring? Like, are you on there yourself, or do you have sort of a team behind you doing the whole thing?
Myself, I run a couple of the social sites. Our bass player runs one of the sites. So the band itself runs all the sites, and it's allowed us to do a couple of things. Probably the biggest one is when we're on tours like this, keep in touch with people until the next time we come back to town, so that when we do come back to Montreal or anywhere else, people know we're coming, and
right,
they know us, and they met us, and we've kept that dialogue going. But it's also big in the fact that, spreading the word for people that haven't heard us. At the very least, they can go see our YouTube videos, and they can see, information on the band and see what kind of tours that we're consistently on. So with that, we've been able to extend out to a lot of people that we might not see night after night on the road. So it's been great for a variety of reasons.
Now, for those who don't know the band, where does musical influences come from? Who are you listening to?
We're a hard rock band, and obviously we've got we've got lots of roots back to early rock music. The Zeppelins, and later on like Red Hot Chili Peppers, Rage Against the Machine, and then we love a lot of the modern rock stuff. Chevelle, Papa Roach, Breaking Benjamin, those kind of bands, Shinedown. So we kind of pull from all that. We love a lot of music, and actually, we play hard melodic rock, but we're all kind of metal fans too. So we listen to a lot of heavy stuff, hardcore stuff. So we kind of pull from all that, and as long as it's something that brings a lot of energy and just excitement to watching the live show and experiencing the CD when you listen to it at home, that's kind of all we're looking for. So if we can do that successfully in a song, that's what we want to do.
Now you mentioned the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They just did the Super Bowl and they weren't plugged in. Big controversy.
Right.
What's your take on all of that? I mean, it's completely normal, right?
Yeah, I think for that situation, I wouldn't get too worked up about it.
Hold on a second. Do they need to cut through? You need to cut through? That's a great thing about doing interviews in staircases, that everybody wants to get through.
Kelly, do you need to get through here, man?
Come on through. We can pause.
You're good.
Speaking of the live show, how important is the live show to bands these days? I mean, there was a time where you could sort of live on radio, and you didn't really have to go out and tour.
Right.
Now, if you're not out there, you just don't exist.
That's right. That's right.
So, how important is it to you, and what do you do for the show in terms to make it more and more exciting?
Well, our focus is the live show. It's about creating an exciting experience for the people that are seeing us for the first time. Because a lot of these tours we're on, certainly the Midwest and a good chunk of the states, we can go and we can do our own headlining shows. But a lot of the bigger tours we're on, it's the first time they've seen us or heard of us, and so we need to do something that's over the top from a live perspective that just has an unending amount of energy, and that's really what we've sought out to do with our live show. And that's the feedback that we've gotten is, this is what, people telling us, watching you guys is why I want to go to live music still. This is why I got off the couch and came out to a show. So if we can do that, that's how we lock people in and, because people want to be entertained. It's tough to come out. It's tough to spend the money.
Spectacle,
right?
You got to
Exactly.
give them spectacle.
Yep.
Now we're only in February. What does the rest of 2014 look like for the band?
A lot more touring. We get done with the Buck Cherry tour here at the end of February. Then we have a headlining tour in the States, the South and Southwestern U.S. And then after that, like we talked about earlier, it's getting into the studio and starting to get some of these ideas down and ready to put that CD together and start putting the plan together for a new album release, and certainly more touring. Within that, some summer festivals and things like that too.
Now, it's interesting that you mentioned albums, because it seems as though the concept of albums is disappearing. There's singles now, iTunes, give me that one song. Why is it important for you to actually sit down and put together 10 songs?
I think, again, for us, part of Black Tie Love Affair is we went with an album theme. So, underneath this, I've got a suit and tie, which is what we wear on stage every night. So, putting a collection of songs together and actually putting an album that cover to cover is great, or people think is great, is really what we're setting out to do. And certainly, we want to have some singles that resonate and can help us from a radio perspective and things like that. But if you can write a great album, that's going to give you a lot of longevity on the road, and that's what we want to have because that's where we've had our success.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I was interviewing Sammy Hagar, and he said, "I'm not doing albums anymore. I'm going to do one song, put it on iTunes, and 6 months later do another one." So good on you for keeping to it.
Yeah, we'll see if it's a good right idea or not, but that's what we're going to go for.
Good. Now, if people want to find you online, what are the website, Instagram? Where can they find you?
3PillMorning.com, and all this stuff is the number 3. So the number 3PillMorning.com, Facebook /3PillMorning, Twitter /3PillMorning, Instagram /3PillMorning, and YouTube /3Pill. No morning on that, but if you Google it, you'll find us. We're out there.
Because the morning pill is something completely
different. That's right. You don't want to go down that road.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much for having us. Appreciate it. Looking forward to tonight.
Yeah, it's good.